For close to 60 years, gliders have soared on the thermal updrafts over Bedfordshire, England. The temperate winters make it one of the best spots for gliding in the country. For construction estimator Graeme Cooper, soaring thousands of feet above the earth is a lifelong dream. And on his birthday, his girlfriend Caroline Wood grants his wish, a gift certificate for a day of gliding at the London Gliding Club.
It's something I've always wanted to do. It's, I think it's probably the nearest thing to flying. You know, I've always wanted to do that, and she booked me a day's gliding.
Well, Graeme always likes doing something a bit different. Because it was his 30th, I thought I'd do something memorable. I just didn't realise quite how memorable it'd be.
Up there.
You're here for a day's course, eh?
That's it, yep.
Good, OK. Let's take you and show you the glider. Get you airborne.
OK, great.
Okay.
At the London Gliding Club, Graeme, outfitted with an emergency parachute, climbs into the front seat to better enjoy the view, while the pilot sits behind.
Open, close.
There was a few clouds around, there's blue sky, but nothing to worry about.
The glider is brought into position for takeoff.
It shot us up fairly fast. It was quite scary. And you're just looking up to the sky, feel a lot of G-force on your face.
It's towed to 3,000 feet.
The pilot's saying, OK, there's going to be a loud crack in about 3 seconds where we'd let go of the rope. There's 3, 2, 1.
Say when. OK, now.
Then the tow line is released. It is flight powered solely by moving air. With a wingspan nearly twice that of the plane that towed it, the glider ascends on thermal updrafts, then soars down until the next one carries it back up again. But Graeme's peaceful glide doesn't last. A few miles away, a small dark cloud is rapidly building a powerful electrical charge. As warm air rises, it cools in the upper atmosphere and condenses into water droplets that freeze into positively and negatively charged ice particles. But for reasons scientists don't completely understand, on rare occasions, some clouds are mostly positively charged. Lightning can strike with extraordinary force when a positive charge is released to the ground. 4,000 feet below, John Atherton and his son Andrew are playing cricket.
The gliders were up in the sky the whole of that day, the same as they normally are at a weekend. I didn't notice that particular glider as anything special.
After about an hour in the air, Graeme's flight is winding down, but he is oblivious to the lightning developing nearby.
We're about 10 minutes from the airfield, and Peter was asking how I enjoyed the day, have I had enough? I said, yeah, it's fine. I was really enjoying it.
Not far away, Edith Mary Smith is doing her laundry.
I saw a big black cloud, and I thought I must get my washing in before it starts to rain. And I saw the glider up there in the sky near the black cloud.
They have time for one more ascent before landing at the club. Because clouds are often the best place to find updrafts, the pilot turns the glider toward a small but dark patch of clouds. The plane ascends in the thermal lift and begins to glide away. Then, without warning, the dark cloud unleashes a powerful electrical charge.
All of a sudden, this is an enormous crack.
The metal frame of the glider is struck by a single, violent bolt of lightning.
Look! Dial 999! And there was the streak of lightning and an almighty bang, like a bomb had gone off.
Lightning strikes the starboard wing of the glider, blowing it right off. The electrical path is superheated to about 3 times the temperature of the surface of the sun. In a fraction of a second, it causes the air to expand. It's like a grenade has been tossed into the fuselage.
All of a sudden, sort of sheer terror, really. I had a bump to my head and my ears were ringing like mad.
Graeme's eardrums have been perforated by the explosion. He's in intense pain.
I was thinking family and girlfriend, and what happens if I die?
Get out!
I couldn't hear what the pilot was saying. I heard something mumbling, but because my ears are perforated, I didn't hear a word he was saying.
Get out!
The pilot screams at Graeme, but he knows there's no other option.
What I was thinking was, am I going to faint? So I've got to act now. I'm 3,000 or 4,000 foot in the air, and I've got to sort myself out and get out of it.
From the ground, John and his son watch in horror.
When the lightning hit the aeroplane, it was like looking up in the sky and seeing dust or confetti blowing past where the aircraft was.
With much of the glider disintegrating, Graeme and the pilot jump from what's left of the cockpit.
Once I'd got out of the glider, I'd pulled the ripcord. I looked up and once that had opened, it was a big relief.
My initial reaction was one of complete horror. How could anyone have survived? And when the parachute opened, it was really one of amazing relief. Although my further reaction was, is the chap alive? Did the parachute open automatically? Is he okay?
3,000 feet up, the two have escaped the plummeting glider, but they're not out of danger. Graeme looks up to see jagged debris from the glider hurtling toward him.
I was worried that the wreckage above me may damage the chute.
One small tear could rip the chute wide open, sending Graeme plunging to his death. But somehow, Graeme is spared. The pilot lands safely across the field. Then Graeme touches down. He's survived, but his injured ears cause extreme pain.
Help!
Andrew and John Atherton run to where Graeme has landed. They help him toward the road to meet the ambulance that has just been summoned.
Oh, I can't hear a thing. Oh, my ears.
Graeme and the pilot are extremely lucky. Researchers are now just realizing that the two men survived a direct hit from one of the most powerful types of lightning in existence.
You come and have a sit down here and we'll have a little look.
At the AEA Technology Lightning Lab of England, scientist Stephen Hague studies the effects of lightning on aircraft. He has been trying to duplicate the severe damage sustained by the metal parts on the glider.
One of the tests we carried out was to one of the bolts on the glider near to the wingtip. It simply carried enough current to fuse the centre part of the bolt so that the outer threads have been slightly forced apart.
Hague is using a machine that reproduces a lightning-like charge. A huge electrical pulse is sent through a small aluminum tube, exactly like the steering rods on the glider. It lasts 3/1000ths of a second. These are the actual aluminum steering rods from the glider. The lightning that struck the aircraft was so powerful, it twisted this tube, not from the heat, but from the sheer load of electricity that the rods were forced to carry. But in the lab, Hague cannot reproduce the same amount of damage. This leads him to believe that the powerful strike that hit the glider was positive.
If you have a severe strike, it's more likely to have been a positive one. And for this particular glider, the lightning arc entered at one wingtip and punctured the wingtip, travelling through the centre of the wing.
A typical lightning strike is 20,000 amps. In the lab, Hague can generate a charge of 200,000 amps, 10 times the average strike, yet still less than the power of the lightning that struck Graeme's glider. Positive strikes are a relatively rare phenomenon, but meteorologists can't explain why close to 50% of lightning strikes in northwestern Europe are positive ones. After recovering from 2 perforated eardrums, Graeme reflects on his brush with death.
I feel very lucky to survive it. I was beginning to realise by then, what had happened. People were saying that they'd seen like a flash of light and they'd seen a plane like disintegrate into pieces.
For Graeme, the experience hasn't diminished his love for flight. He knows being struck in a glider is a 1 in a million chance, and he's counting on the odds that lightning never strikes in the same place twice. Next, on Storm Warning. Wind and snow conspire to create a deadly avalanche that crashes down on hundreds of people at a New Year's